guys. If there was a Hall of Fame for day trading, he'd be in it. I mean, truly one of the most successful active traders that there's been. An 8-figure-a-year trader, just an enormous ability to trade multiple different stocks at the same time. Still getting better, still expressing his trades with more sophistication, still broadening the types of trades that he's taking, still setting goals for himself. I think his top year was near 20 million bucks on multiple occasions. I'm not going to be surprised if one day he makes much more than that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Leaders. My name is Sam North. I'm a market analyst here at eToro, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, which I'm sure you're all going to love. Mike Belafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital and author of 2 incredibly popular books in the world of trading that I'm sure many people listening and watching this have read. A trader, an educator, a mentor, an author. He's got it all. Mike, it's great to have you with us here today. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Sam.
It's great to have you with us. Where are you logging in from today?
We are in our New York City trading office.
Fantastic. So, of course, yesterday, I mean, this will be released, in a week or two's time, but yesterday was a pretty good day for markets. Inflation in the US looked a little bit cooler than expected. So was that a busy day on the floor for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I do think the type of trading that we do may be different than investors. And sometimes we have really big days when other people may not have seen a lot of action. But the type of trading that we do, we're looking for catalysts in stocks, either a technical catalyst or a news catalyst, and we'll move to those particular stocks. So we don't really need the overall market to be up 3% or down 3% to have really big days. If there's a couple of things that are in play that have a technical catalyst or a news catalyst, there's plenty for us to do.
Fantastic. And can you share a little bit how you yourself got into the world of trading and what sort of key moments from that shaped your journey to co-founding SMB Capital?
So the answer to that is I didn't want to be a lawyer. So I was in law school. I was in my 3rd year of law school, and I'd figured out that I didn't want to be a lawyer. I figured out that the legal community shouldn't have me as a lawyer. But I had a good friend from home, and he had a really good friend from the university that he went to, and the two of them were trading. The two of them were involved in the world of day trading at the beginning of it all. And I came into New York City for a party to meet these 2 gentlemen who are now my partners here at SMB. Funny enough. So Steve Spencer and Jared Cabin are my partners here at SMB. And I came into a party in New York City, and both of them were there, and they kind of cornered me and said, "Hey, I'm hearing that you don't want to be a lawyer. Why don't you think about being a trader?" And it sounded pretty cool to me. They were both making a ton of money at a pretty young age. And so I interviewed and was offered a spot at the firm and took the bar, passed the bar, and then immediately took this exam you take called the Series 7 to be able to trade for a firm. Took that and then started trading with a prop firm.
Amazing. Did you think anything to do with learning to be a lawyer helped in any way to be a successful trader, or is there no real crossover there?
For the type of trading that we do, actually, I think it probably hurts. I'm the type of person, if my wife sends me into the store and she says, "Go buy a loaf of bread," I'm the type of person who looks at every single selection there is for bread and then goes through the pros and cons, price, calories, how much fiber's in it, how much protein's in the bread, how fresh the bread is. And I got to go through a calculus before I actually pick out the loaf of bread. That's not really good. That's not really good thinking to be an active, discretionary trader, a day trader. You want to make quick decisions and you want to be done with them. I am an analytical thinker, which is probably why I ended up starting a firm and enjoy growing out our firm and creating the infrastructure here for traders to have a lot of resources to be the best trader they can be, and make sure they have the training that they need to be really good traders. So there is a certain type of trading that is conducive to being very analytical, more research-based, more M&A type of trading, perhaps more longer term, perhaps in sympathy type trades. So there's a type of trading that works for that. We've had traders here at SMB who were very contemplative, who were very diligent, and have made a lot of money using those skills in the right way, more towards M&A type of trading. So that's worked. But I think it's probably better to be a gamer in your past, or certain types of athletes or high performers than to be a lawyer.
Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is actually around sport. And I was on a podcast a couple of years ago, Stephen Goldstein's Alpha Mind podcast, and they asked me a question just around sport. Because my background, when I first, just before I got into trading, was sport. And they asked me, does a background in sport help in the trading world? And I think it does. I answered in a way where I thought, being in a sort of an individual sport might be more beneficial. And I wanted to know, do you agree, or do you think maybe a team sport is better, or is it the classic answer, it depends?
I saw that interview. I enjoyed watching that interview with you guys. And I think that the people that we're seeing who are having the most fun and making the most money here at SMB Capital, we're a prop trading firm in New York City and in Miami. Those people are people who are collaborating with other traders. They're not in a silo doing their own thing, being introverts. They are working with other traders. They're talking to other traders about particular trades. They are even doing things like trading joint accounts. That's a big part of our firm, is that individual traders can trade their own account.
Yeah.
They can push the buttons and knock around in their own account. But they also then can trade joint accounts. They can do it with 2 or 3 or 4 traders. And what happens is that the firm gives an allocation to a joint account. And the traders decide which strategies they're going to run in that joint account. The traders decide how they're going to decide amongst themselves when to put on trades. What if 2 people really want to put on a trade and 1 person doesn't? What do you do? And they have to work through that. What if all 3 of them agree on a trade and they think it's an A+ trade? Well, how much risk are we going to put on for trades like that? But we see on our desk that there's real significant amounts of money being made in these joint accounts. We see that traders are having a blast working together and putting on risk. The returns are better as well, because hey, maybe one trader says, hey, we should put on a trade in Bitcoin above 100,000, and another trader says, hey, not right now for these 4 reasons, and that original trader missed maybe 4 reasons. Maybe they just missed something, and the dialogue amongst the team gets people to make better decisions. And then obviously if 3 people who are well-trained and consistently profitable traders all agree that a particular idea is a really good one, hey, maybe we want to put on a little bit more risk for that trade. And maybe those traders individually wouldn't have been as convicted, as big, if they didn't know the other 2 guys who they respect, who are also well-trained traders, see the same really good A+ trade as they do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And obviously in the trading world, especially for a lot of people that will listen to this or watch this, they might just be trading on their own at home or whatever. And it can be quite lonely. So would you recommend that they do look to get into a community, be part of a community? Do you feel that is super beneficial?
So I can just tell you, I'm not in the business of telling people what to do with their lives. I can just tell you, these are my observations having run a proprietary trading firm in New York City. Here are the things I observe are effective, and let me share that with you. What you decide to do with that information is up to you. I'm not here to, but from my observation, and what we do here at this firm is we encourage traders to work in teams.
Mm-hmm.
We encourage traders to trade their individual accounts and trade joint accounts. I sit around often and think about, hey, how do I get a particular trader who's struggling jump-started, who's got a lot of talent? And lots of times I think about putting that trader together with another like-minded trader with them that I could see really helping that trader who needs a little bit of a jump start. And oftentimes it does. And so, one of the things that just brings a huge smile to my face is thinking about one of the teams at SMB. So at SMB, all the traders join a team. If you're a junior guy coming up the curve, you're going to join a team. There's going to be an experienced trader leading that team. That experienced trader is going to be a consistently profitable, really solid trader. This one team I'm thinking about is run by one of the great day traders that there's ever been in the history of day trading. This is a person who has made near $20 million in multiple years, and is just about as talented as you can be as an active trader. Now, as you make all of this money as an active trader, the reality is you don't really need to make that much money going forward for the rest of your life. You do need other things to motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
And so this senior trader, this star, like if there was a Hall of Fame for day trading, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. And if there was a Hall of Fame for nicest traders that we ever have, he'd go in the Hall of Fame. He's just a great person, very thoughtful person, a grateful person. And so this particular trader has really made it a priority to help the junior traders on his team do better. He is pulling them up. They are trading joint accounts together where he's doing the executing, and the junior traders are perhaps doing some of the exit and some of the exits after he's entered. Maybe some of the junior traders are providing some of the technology to help signal a particular opportunity. Maybe some of the junior traders in a sector like crypto are finding trades that this senior experienced trader doesn't find by himself because he's not an expert in that. But maybe some of the junior guys are really diving deep into those opportunities. Maybe they're diving really deep into opportunities over in China that the other trader doesn't find on himself, or AI and AI tech that for whatever reason this trader doesn't find himself. And so these junior traders are bringing him more ideas, which increases his bandwidth. And when you do that for a super talented trader, that trader is going to put on more good trades. And what just brings a huge smile on my face is that every month we have this monthly review. And this team across the board had traders making personal bests and just hitting out of the park each month. In a month, by the way, that wasn't really that huge for the rest of the street. Wasn't a super opportunistic month. It was just a ho-hum month. And these guys on this team just crushed it. The junior guys who are not that good yet, they're making personal best. They're making real money. Some guys on that team are putting up their first $1 million years.
Fantastic.
Some of the guys. And so, what just brings a huge smile to my face is just seeing how happy this senior trader gets watching these junior guys do so well, and seeing the senior trader reinvigorated and re-energized and remotivated by this new goal, which is, hey, I got to help this guy who's never made a lot of money make a lot of money. And then the young guy is super happy because he's making a lot of money because he's on this team, and the senior trader's making a lot of really good trades that he's a part of, and it's more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy listening to this and hearing about it and picturing it in my own head. It sounds incredible. And for those watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments if you want me to try and convince Mike to get him on the podcast. It sounds like he's a bit of a character. Mike, let's talk a little bit about the two of the books. One Good Trade.
But Sam, if I can circle back, I didn't actually. So I was watching that podcast.
Yes.
With you and Steven. I think the podcast is called Alpha Mind.
Yes.
So I was watching that, and another sub question, if I might, that you guys tackled was, if you play sport, is that the best way to prepare for trading? And there was this thesis thrown out there that, playing sport was really the best way to prepare to be a trader. And I listened to that, and I thought that was super interesting.
Would you agree?
And so we hire lots of traders here at our prop firm, and we got to get that right.
Yes.
If we are hiring the wrong people, as good as our training is, we're not going to see the return on our investment. So we got to get that right. We got to hire the right people. And conversely, if we hire really talented people but we don't train them well, they're not gonna do very well. You need both of those things. You need talent and you need really great training. You know that from your background in sport. My background is also in sports. That's why I went to college. And we play a lot of sports in our family. We can talk about that in another podcast. But so we spent a lot of times in gyms and baseball fields and in our family. And so I've observed that you want to think about, for the type of trading that we're doing. So we're doing active discretionary trading. So there are going to be certain sports and certain positions in sports that are a really great background for active discretionary trading. Yeah. And there are certain sports and certain positions that are not great and that are not helpful for active discretionary trading. For instance, do you think we want to hire a soccer goalie or a center midfielder? Do you think we want to hire a left tackle in football or a quarterback? Do you think we want to hire a point guard in basketball or a center? And there are real answers for this. Like, we've learned and observed this. There are real correct answers for this. And so I'll go ahead. If you want to
I would lean towards, and I hope I'm not just going to say the wrong answer here. I think it's the midfielder, it's the point guard, it's the quarterback, I'd imagine.
100%. And why do you think that?
100%. Because to play those positions, you're more often than not, you're going to be the star. You're going to have respect of the team. You've got to be a team player. You've got to know the game inside out.
So I will say that those positions require quick thinking.
Yes.
I'll defer to you on soccer because that's not my expertise. But you want to do the type of thinking in your background that prepares you to do the type of trading that you want to do professionally. So for us, we need to do a lot of quick thinking. You want to have a background in doing a lot of quick thinking. You don't want to have a background as an attorney or a lawyer. Now, some attorneys are very quick thinking. So I don't want to limit it to that. But that's really important. And lots of times we see traders who don't make it in a particular type of trading, or I'll observe online that people are complaining that they did a particular type of trading, they didn't make it, and they just assume, well, that trading is impossible to be good at. Well, I think that trading may have been impossible for you to be good at. At this point in your life, but you got to really think about doing the right type of trading for you, and you got to really think about whether or not your background has prepared you to do that type of trading. And if you get that wrong, then at a minimum, your runway is going to have to be a lot longer. It's going to take you a lot longer to be a successful trader. I've listened to people who have said it takes 5-10 years to be a successful trader. It does not take 5 to 10 years to be a successful trader. Maybe it does if you're doing the type of trading that you've never been prepared to do. But if you've been doing fast, active thinking, if you've been a high level gamer, so one of our star traders, an 8-figure a year performer, is an amazing scalper. Scalping is very fast, move-to-move type trades. He is an incredible scalper. He's one of the best scalpers I've seen. Like, don't mess with him. He's so good, he can beat algorithms. I mean, it's just crazy how good he is. Now, everyone at the firm is not like that. Everyone at the firm is not an elite scalper. His background, lots of gaming. I mean, he is as fast as you would ever imagine. So to tell somebody like that to go be a mergers and acquisitions trader, an M&A trader, would be not utilizing his talents, not matching his talents with his interests and his trading style. That's a mistake. So my answer, I wish you guys had me on that podcast to chime in here. So my answer is, sport is helpful if you did the type of thinking that matches the type of thinking you're going to do and the type of trading you've decided to do. And there's lots of different ways to trade, right?
Yeah, 100%. Incredible answer. I think that's actually going to be so helpful for a lot of people. And actually, before we talk about the couple of books, I kind of want to talk about the mentoring side of things. You obviously built SMB Capital from nothing, let's face it, to an incredibly successful, long-standing firm. Focusing on building traders from new to consistently profitable. You mentioned there, 8-figure traders in a year, bigger than that as well. But when it comes to mentoring them, how do you do that? How do you, for example, know that gamer is going to be a good scalper? And then how do you manage their journey? Because that is a skill in itself.
Yeah. And if I can ask you before I answer that, you do a lot of mentoring. What do you think are some of the important things that you need to do as a mentor?
For me, what I always try to do early on was to find out their reason why that they are doing what they're doing. And I think that helped a lot for them to actually finally understand it, because I think some people go into the world of trading just because they've seen the Lamborghinis or they think they're going to make money quick. And obviously they go in with the wrong attitude. And so it's making them understand what it's all about, I think is key. They need to understand their risk appetite as well. And for me, what helped was when I would give traders an exercise for like a week, and I would say, look, spend this week on the virtual account, of course, just trying to lose money. Get it out your system to do the things that you shouldn't do. And then we'll review everything at the end of the week and it'd be like, what, right, how did you lose all of that? Oh, I traded at the wrong time. I put too much risk on. I didn't do any research. And that's for me what helped, from the mentoring side to get them to that next level. But the main thing was just to make them understand who they are in the trading world. That's what I think I was quite good at.
Yeah. So we do a type of mentoring and development that is probably different than the mentoring that you do. Because what we're doing is we want at the end of this for people to trade our money. At the end of this, we want people to be at our firm a couple decades from now. We have a saying on the desk: if you sit in your seat for 10 years, you're going to be rich. And so we're thinking about building a career with us at our firm as a trader. And so the one thing I hope, the one thing that we do really well, and I think you see it in every meeting, is, I think we get this right, is that we care about the trader. We obviously have a huge economic incentive to care about the trader because we have to put so many resources into this person. And we need for traders to become profitable for us to make money. It's expensive to pay for the office space in New York City and pay for all the technology and provide the capital. It's a lot. And so caring about the trader and the trader's career, caring about whether they make it or they don't, caring that they're doing the type of trading that's best for their talents, getting them on the right team, caring that they're on the right team, caring that they don't lose too much money at the start of their career to hinder their chances of being successful is super important. But obviously caring about somebody is not enough for them to be consistently profitable. The thing that we do at our firm, we have an internship program. And so the first thing to get our mentoring right is we got to pick the right people. And there are 10 attributes that we're screening for. And we're picking the best people who apply to our firm. Lots of people, thankfully, apply to our firm. And we are lucky enough to be able to pick some high quality people. So we got to get the right people walking in the door to train for the type of trading that we do. And then when they come in, we teach them everything they got to learn about trading, a really strong fundamental base to make good trading decisions. They are taught. We expose them to trading strategies with edge. There are traders out on our floor who are making money month over month. We are teaching them those strategies. They can see these traders make a lot of money. There's a big scoreboard that everybody can look at our firm. Everybody knows who's making a lot of money. And so the traders know, well, these strategies are being used by Shark and Raf and Dan G. Of course they work. Now I'll just learn them and let me make them my own. And then we ask them to find a niche. So we're going to expose you to 20 strategies that our guys are using that have edge in present market conditions. Not all of them are going to work for every trader. Gravitate towards the strategies that fit your interests and your talents. Pick a niche. Maybe you want to be a scalper. Maybe you want to be a technical trader. Maybe you want to be more of a systematic trader. Maybe you want to be more of an automated trader. Maybe you want to be more of a swing trader. Just choose based on how you've been successful in the past and your talents. And then let's get you on a team. And now you go and join a team. And let's have you develop a really refined playbook of trading strategies with edge. And by playbook, I mean, here are all the variables that go into a trade. So the second book I wrote is The Playbook. The playbook is you sitting down, creating a trading business of the trades that have edge and outlining all the variables to them and building your career from there. And so let's put you on a team and let's start refining those strategies, your playbook, by talking in real time to a senior trader who you know makes a lot of money and other traders on that team who are super serious about trading. And let's review together and let's refine and let's get after it. And the other thing that we do is we give people lots of optionality to different products and different ways to trade. So we don't just trade equities, we trade equities and options and futures. Sometimes some traders are okay at equities, but they kill it trading options.
Yeah.
So we just put out a video that people are really enjoying on our SMB Capital YouTube channel that follows Max Gannick, a day in the life.
I watched it earlier.
Yeah, so we should probably put a link in here.
Yes, absolutely.
A day in the life of a 27-year-old multi-million-dollar trader, Max Gannick. He is about as talented a trader as we have in the 20s. A mid seven-figure a year trader, making $4 or $5 million last year, with a goal to be our next 8-figure a year trader. I see no reason why he won't get there one day. Last month, he made over $1 million in a month. I think he's got a chance to get there. But Max mostly trades options.
Yeah.
That is what he's best at. So we give traders the option to be able to trade different products. And then, we encourage people to trade joint accounts. We encourage people to trade teams. We give people a long runway. When you come into the firm, you get paid. You just have to worry about trading. As long as you're working hard and showing improvement, you're going to keep your seat. If you're not any good and you're not showing progress and this isn't for you, we'll help you transition into something else. That's okay too. But that's how we think about developing our traders. What resources do they need? Let's make sure they have all those resources. Let's make sure they have the capital to really size up when they need it. So you could be 20-something walking around with a $20, $30 million book at our firm. You can be a little older and ask for a $50 million allocation on a special trade, and we'll get you that capital. And so that's how we think through development.
Amazing. And I, like I said, I watched that YouTube video earlier. So the link is in the bio. It starts off with him talking about having the protein shake for breakfast. So maybe that's the secret sauce that I need to do to improve. But I do recommend everyone going to check that out. And you mentioned in all of that, the playbook, one of the books you wrote, and One Good Trader is obviously another one. Two incredibly successful books. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have either read it or have heard of it. What inspired you to write those, and the main takeaways that you want traders to have from those? What are they?
So Max, by the way, is pretty huge. There's a scene in that video of him working out at the gym. He's pretty huge. So maybe we both should be drinking more protein shakes.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a big guy. He's strong. I think there's one reason and one reason only to write a book. There just becomes something that you have to say.
Yeah.
And you feel you're the only one who can say it. And so at that point in my life, I felt like I had to say something about the prop trading industry and how to develop to become a consistently profitable trader, and that at a prop firm, and that because of my experience, I was the only one, and my experience being I was a trader full time. Then I started a prop firm. The prop firm focused on training people from zero to consistently profitable traders and then better. And we had spent a lot of time thinking about how to train people the right way. And so I felt like I need to say it. Now, that may seem a bit egotistical. I can just tell you that is the feeling that I had. I just felt like I just have to say this, and I am the only person in the entire world who can say this. What's funny is I have a good friend who also runs a huge crypto firm, and Mark Segura. It's located out in Australia. On the day that I was to get married, and by married I mean have the civil ceremony in New York City, I met up with Mark, and we were talking a little bit, and he left our encounter with something that I just remember to this day. It's really hard to write a book, by the way. And he said, he wrote that book. It was great. I loved it. I was going to do the same thing. You just beat me to it. And so I guess I wasn't the only one who could have said it, but maybe I was the first one to say it.
Yeah, it's great books. And again, I'll put the links in the bio. And if you're watching on YouTube, do let me know your thoughts on the books as well. I think every trader should start by reading those at the beginning of a journey. Next question, I want to focus a little bit on psychology. Massively underappreciated by newer traders for sure. I don't think they realize just how important it is. So how important is it in your mythology and the teaching and the techniques that you do to help traders manage their emotions? Can you shed a little bit of light on that?
Yeah, and maybe this is because of the people that we're trading, Sam. So we're being pretty selective with the people that are coming into our prop firm. And so we're screening for certain characteristics that make it more likely that they can do this job, that maybe they have less psychological hurdles to overcome. Well, playing sport.
Yeah.
When you play sports at a very high level, you learn how to hyper-focus.
Yeah, get into a flow state.
Really quickly. In fact, you can go from being really angry to hyper-focused immediately. You know to perform better if you're underperforming that you need to step up your focus. It's time to stop getting angry. Even if you're angry, it's like we need to focus on the thing we need to do next. And so understand who we're bringing in. We focus first on trading edge. We make a big point of helping traders build a trading edge. We focus almost all of our energy on that. Here are trades that work. Here are trades with edge. Experiment with them. Now go talk to senior traders and refine those strategies. Make sure you're doing stuff that's in your niche. Let's review those trades if you're not doing as well as you want. Maybe you made $5,000 in that trade last month. Let's really review the heck out of this trade so next month you make $10,000 in a similar trade. So at the beginning, our focus is on consistency, consistent profitability, and that's what we're pounding the table on with our traders. Focus on being consistent, focus on being consistent, focus on being consistent. The number one thing to do is be consistently profitable. How do you be consistently profitable? Trade setups that you trade at your best.
Yeah.
After traders are consistently profitable at our firm and with the type of work that we do, traders then tackle trading with more size. Mm-hmm. And so one of our teams is run by Shark. Shark's another one of those guys. If there was a Hall of Fame for day trading, he'd be in it. I mean, truly one of the most successful active traders that there's been. An 8-figure-a-year trader, just an enormous ability to trade multiple different stocks at the same time, still getting better, still expressing his trades with more sophistication, still broadening the types of trades that he's taking, still setting goals for himself. I think his top year was near $20 million on multiple occasions. I'm not going to be surprised if one day he makes much more than that. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him do that too, by the way. But I'm not going to be surprised at all when he does that. And so Shark runs this team. Our rookie of the year last year is somebody who super talented trader, a rookie of the year. This is this person's first year trading. Best results out of anyone. Sits on Shark's team. This trader that I'm thinking of, this rookie of the year, made $500,000 in his first year trading live. Pretty good. He interned with us when he was a freshman in college. I still remember the email he sent to me saying, "Hey, I'm a freshman in college. Am I too young to do an internship?" And we made this exception at the time to let him sit in on an internship after his freshman year. And you could see in that email how serious and thoughtful and detailed he was. And he was doing some pretty interesting stuff with trading already. And he interned with us as a freshman, and then for a junior internship, and then he came back for a senior internship, and then last year he traded live. He, after the close, oftentimes reaches out to Shark and says, "Look, I need a little bit of help with my sizing." And the two of them talk through how this rookie of the year can trade with more size on a particular trade. This rookie of the year has probably been in the same trade that Shark has. He's probably asking about how Shark was bigger in this particular trade. Shark is giving him guidance on the things that helped him. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing. To be able to sit there after the close and talk to a Hall of Fame trader about how to trade a particular setup bigger, that you watched Shark trade, you saw all of his entries and exits, you were in real time talking to him, listening to him about what he was doing, you were putting the trade on yourself, you felt what it was like maybe to be a little bit too small, you felt what it's like maybe to experience a pullback that made you wonder if the trade was going to work out. You felt the moment where you just knew you should have put on more size but didn't, and now we're lamenting that you didn't. And you get to talk to this Hall of Fame trader who has a solution for you, who's been through what you've been through and can now give you guidance on what you should do. And there are other mentors of the firm that certainly do that, but man, that's just invaluable to be able to have that resource to tap into. And Shark will sit there and answer his questions. You can ask a follow-up question, and you can ask a question the next day. And you can ask other people on the team that asked similar questions to Shark about that maybe the year before. That is just an amazing learning experience.
Yeah, and invaluable was the word that I was going to follow up with, but you got there first, just like the book. But insanely helpful. A couple of more questions before we wrap it up, Mike. And I want to talk about some of the traders that have come through your door. You've obviously mentioned this rigorous, sort of process to get them into that point. But has anyone ever surprised you where you're like, maybe this person isn't actually going to be that good, and then they've gone on and been amazing? Or have you got a pretty good eye and you're like, nah, they're going to be top of the class, they're going to be the one? Or how's it go?
Usually I have a pretty good eye. And I lean on Jeff Holden, who is head of trader development, quite a bit these days. So Jeff is the one doing most of the heavy lifting with the training these days. And then I should also mention at our firm that one of the things that we do uniquely, and I think one of the lessons, Sam, that we've learned since we started as a prop firm, when we started, I used to do all of the training. And I used to teach traders to trade a particular way. I used to teach traders to momentum trade. And over the years, we learned that only giving a trader one way to trade was limiting. And we noticed when we gave traders more ways to be consistently profitable traders, when we allowed them to have more freedom in how they were learning how to trade, and when I think about when we first started, we did a really good job building upper middle class, consistently profitable traders when we were teaching them one way to trade and when I was doing all the training. But when we sat back and adjusted and adapted and taught people more comprehensively and were less heavy-handed on this is how you should trade, what happened was our success rates went up and the ceiling on our traders soared. We were now seeing star traders being born because we were giving them more freedom. We were allowing them to be more expressive in what they were doing. And so, when we think about putting together, so when we think about our work in the past, we observe that. And then the other thing that we learned and observed is, hey, I shouldn't be the only one who's teaching people.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all these profitable traders on our desk. Let's have them contribute. Let's bring them into the education and the training that you get at SMB. And so now, when you come into the firm, you get a chance to be taught classes by someone like Garrett Drinan, who is going to specialize in indicators, building indicators that can give you a little bit more signal, a little bit more edge in your trading. We're going to have somebody like Jeff Holden, who's going to focus on teaching you how to scalp better. We're going to have somebody like Carlton, our risk manager, who's going to focus on sharing the best trades of the week with you that he watched from the traders on the desk. We're going to have somebody like Max, you can see in that A Day in the Life video, share the best opportunities that he saw during the week and how he traded them. You can have somebody like Ryan Hassan focus on swing trading, and Seth Froyberg give you a little bit more education on the different ways to express options trade. And you can even bring in me, someone like myself. I teach the playbook each week, and a trader presents their playbook. I give them critical feedback, and that's a bunch of fun. We can bring in Steve Spencer, the co-founder of SMB Capital, to teach people how to find the stocks in play to trade each session. And so now traders are getting this comprehensive education with multiple teachers, and it's also easier on myself. So that's always good. But people are getting a team that is teaching them how to trade, that's looking out after them.
Yeah, and specialist, teachers as well, which I think is the key thing there. I mean, in my mind now, I'm picturing it like you guys are like an elite, top of the table NFL team, but you've got like defense coaches, you've got the special team coach, you've got, traders, the players that only can play a certain position, but they play it to the best in the world. Like the quarterback isn't going to be one of the big guys in the scrimmage or whatever they call it. NFL isn't my speciality, as you can tell, but it is important to have those specialist coaches, isn't it? Like you said, rather than just have one person that does it all, split it up, give people that expertise. And I think that's, incredible.
I don't know that much about football either, but there's an offensive coordinator.
Yes.
There's a head coach, right?
Yeah.
And then there's an offensive coordinator. Then there's a defensive coordinator. Then there's a quarterback's coach. There's a defensive backs coach. There's a special teams coach. There's a strength and conditioning coach. There's they don't have one coach.
No. When you watch the game, they're all lined up down the side and they take up the whole pitch. It's incredible. But listen, if you get that right, it works, and people thrive in those conditions. So, look, let's wrap it up with one final question. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, but I want to talk a little bit about the future of SMB. Where do you see it going? How big do some of these traders, how big do you see them going? And obviously you must be incredibly proud of what you've created.
So the future is, right now we're building skilled, active, discretionary, bionic traders.
Yeah.
And so bionic meaning they're using technology to supplement their discretionary trading. And so at the firm, we have this full technology tech suite that you can only use if you're at our firm. You can't use our technology if you're outside the firm. And that technology helps traders who are consistently profitable. That technology helps traders make at least 30% more in P&L than if they were just using an off-the-shelf, as we say, technology solution.
Yeah.
But the future to Steve and myself is very clear. The future for Steve and myself, for SMB, is very clear. And that is, we focus on building skilled, active, discretionary, bionic traders, and then we give them more options, access to more products and more markets going forward. And our traders, with more access and more products, can move around the world and pinpoint the best opportunities on each day and make those decisions to give themselves the opportunity to make even more. And so right now, our traders have access to equities and options and futures. We do a little bit of crypto trading through ETFs.
Yeah.
And we can do so as discretionary and automated traders. It used to be the case we just had access to equity trading. And then we were smart enough, we added options trading, which was great, and future. So we've added different products. But I see the future as a trader waking up and maybe deciding, hey, there is an amazing backside setup in the Australian markets, and that is the biggest opportunity by far in the next 24 hours. And I'm not seeing a similar opportunity to that in the States. Let me go there.
Yeah.
Or, look, I think there's a really great opportunity in the Hong Kong markets. I'm going to go there. And when we provide access for our traders to that, they're going to just get all these extra opportunities. We are very good traders. Our guys can flat out trade. The biggest risk to our firm and the biggest risk to the P&L of our traders is just opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, and our guys, because they're skilled, they don't really need to know everything about a particular stock to trade it well.
Yeah.
They can watch the price action, they can look at a chart, they can use their skills. They get into something that's not working out, they can just get out and start over again. Take a small loss, not a big deal, and move on. But that strikes me as an incredibly exciting future for our firm and for our traders.
Mike, that sounds amazing. And thank you very much for coming on. As I mentioned earlier, all the links will be in the bio, wherever you're listening on the podcast or on YouTube. So do check all of those out. But once again, Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.